Yes, when people join back again with the Liberty Music podcast, I'm here with a very, very special, talented artist. He's hugely successful in Germany, works as an actor and a singer actor by day and a singer by night, is it?
Okay,
Yeah?
yeah, yeah.
He's amazing talent. I'm here with the amazing Donskoy.
Hey,
Pronounce that
man.
right.
Yeah, Donskoy's correct. It's correct.
Yeah, I've got a better pronunciation than that than most of mine, most of the names, to be fair. But obviously, I've heard you released over 10 singles, featured in over 30 TV series and films. And
Yeah,
you're also a host, presenter of an award-winning talk show.
yeah.
So,
I've been a bit busy the last couple of years. I don't
yeah,
know. Like,
yeah, man, you're living my dream. That's what I'm on the path to be you. And you won the Mark Singer in Germany.
yeah, I did. I was a
That's
mole. I was a mole for 6 weeks.
No way, that's sick, man. I was literally thinking, I was like, what would you dress as? That's what I want to see. I don't have to YouTube the episode
Dude, it
myself.
was so funny. They asked me like, because they ask you like, so what kind of animals are your spirit animals? I'm like, I want to be a lion, a panther,
Oh,
like a tiger. And they were like, okay, okay. And then they turned around and gave me a mole costume. I was like,
no way.
"Ooh, ooh, that's hard.
Yeah, you liked it.
I mean, yeah, I had to swallow my ego, and
Yeah.
then it was fine. Yeah.
Did you think they were kind of subconsciously atting you, like saying you're a mole or something? Or...
I don't know. No, he was kind of cute, like because also like I wanted to like do like fun songs. So I did like Pony, like so the mole was stripping. I don't know, like sexy moles. That people just don't equate moles to being sexy. So I was just
Yeah,
a bit
yeah.
like, you know,
I
yeah.
was gonna ask if the judges managed to guess you, but I want to watch it myself and I want to find out. But I'm definitely gonna check that. But obviously, what was it like being you've done a lot of got a lot of sync opportunities then, being in a lot of TV and film.
Yes and no. I mean, sometimes obviously you do a series, you want to pitch your own music, but I kind of really have to separate the two careers, one from the other, because when you're as an actor, they want to take you seriously as an actor, and obviously inside of me, all I want to do is go there. By the way, I'm also a singer-songwriter, and I'd love to picture my song. Sometimes it's just misplaced, so there have been opportunities where I was able to like put my own stuff in there, and some other times they just go, "You're here as an actor," and I was like, "Okay, okay." Got it.
You got to pick your position. You got to stay in one lane.
Uh,
Ah,
Sometimes no, sometimes yes. It's just like I think sometimes you have the right moments where you can pitch, and that's you definitely should. So I always have my materials with me and stuff. So if I see there is a window opportunity, I'll definitely go and try it. But sometimes it's just good to wait till people come to you.
I'll 100% feel you, bro. You got to take all the opportunities with you as an artist. I think being an artist is 24/7. That's like
Yeah,
your life and in the background, and then doing other stuff in the background. Like I do presenting. I do like
yeah,
obviously music. I do my normal work in a state agency. So I feel you where you have to pitch opportunities because if I come across someone else who does music, for example, when I was doing a state agency, I spoke to one lady and she was like, "Oh yeah, my son does music as well." And long
who's your
story
son?
short, sorry.
Yeah. So who's your son? Who is he?
Oh
Yeah.
no, that's what I asked. I was like, "Who's your son?" And then she literally told me, and then funny enough, I knew who he was. I literally had him. I literally listened to his music. I was like, "That's crazy." And then she was like, "Oh yeah, I actually run a magazine." And then long story short, yeah, she followed me on Instagram, and she was like, "If you got any opportunities in your music, shout me. I'll put you in the mag." So you never know. That's where you
No, no,
gotta take a
I was
shot.
shooting one of the promo videos. I was like shooting out in Brick Lane, and like when you're out and about, people approach you, and then somebody was like, "Oh, are you an artist?" I was like, "Yeah," and it's like, "Oh, I'm a songwriter," and that we actually were gonna write next week together just by shooting a stupid little TikTok outside. Got me to connect with a really cool music producer from just like he's my neighbor as well. We would have never connected if I didn't, was out in the street and out there and like putting myself out there. So I think it's all about constant being open to opportunities and being open to like meeting people because it's all about collaboration in the end.
100%, bro. 100%. But obviously, before when we jumped on, you're telling me obviously you quite come from a multicultural background. So I'm glad you probably got a lot of inspiration because you were born in Russia, so you're
Yeah.
raised in Germany and obviously Tel Aviv as well.
Yeah.
And now you're living in obviously the UK in London. How does your sort of diverse experience influence you acting and doing music as well?
Well, I think loads. To be honest, like I spent most of my life like being an immigrant somewhere, which on the one side has loads of positive sides because like you get to learn new cultures, new languages, but also it has loads of downsides. Like in the beginning, you're obviously sometimes on the outside of society, which gives you the opportunity to look in. So I think
Yeah.
I've spent most of my life observing new cultures, new people, trying to adapt. Now, adapting to a new thing, if you don't lose yourself whilst doing so, is a great thing. When I was younger, it was difficult for me because like we were moving around so much. I think I've been to like 10 different schools. in my
Crazy, bro.
full time, like different universities and study different things. So like I did struggle with really finding who I am, but then again, all that journey really helped me to, I think, be closer to my emotions and be close to like observing. And if you're observing something, what does it make you feel? So like that I can put into music. When you walk onto the street now, you go, okay, I'm in London. What does that mean? I'm in London. I moved to London. I wanted London to be my home. But what does it mean for me? Like, how does it make me feel to now walk on these streets of this city that I chose to be my home? And that changes the entire perception of how you can then approach, for instance, writing a song about the city.
Yeah. Literally, I guess you probably feel different when you're in different countries. You probably feel different sounds in it, and you feel different sort of moods. Like when I was out in Texas in Houston, literally when I listened to music, it was completely different, and when I'd write music, it was completely different as well. So I definitely feel that. So you definitely got probably a real diverse sort of range of music. Even though I've heard your music, so I can really feel you got quite a diverse range. But obviously, one of the guys was saying, obviously, your grandmother gave you piano lessons when you were a child.
Yeah.
Was that obviously your introduction to music?
Yeah, she was a piano teacher. Like I started very early, very classical. So like my family was, back in the day, very Soviet Union, very much everything about like education, music, art, literature. It was very important because I suppose in cultures where, you can't make your value by money, which is actually a good thing, then you put it into education, which is a good, like maybe the one good thing about socialism.
Yeah.
Because the Soviet Union was a bit, it wasn't the greatest country to live in from all that they told me.
Wait, was your grandmother in Russia as well, was it?
Yeah, Russia. They're Ukrainian from background, but then obviously back in the day it was all Soviet Union, so they just saw themselves as Soviet. So I got all that culture like given to me, which was really good. It was very strict. Like, at 3, 4, 5, you don't want to play Chopin. You want to like, I don't know, have fun and play football with your mates. But but it was the introduction, and I'm very grateful that I got to learn so early, because I suppose music education, the earlier you really get it into your ear that you can convey feelings through notes, tones, it just sets you up for a lifetime of music, really.
Literally just becomes your second nature, isn't it? If it's just installed into you. That's what trying to get my daughter into. My dad was the same though. My dad used to do gospel music, so he was always trying to like push that onto me, but I wasn't really having it. Not gonna. I was just proper into football as an
early age. I loved gospel from very early age. Like and my parents were always like, why this? I was like, I don't know. It just makes me feel like I was all, because I'm from a Jewish family, so obviously we didn't go to church, went to synagogue. But I was always like, can we go to the other? Like, I didn't know as a kid that there was a difference. I was like, can we go to the other church? Like, that's much cooler. Like, they're singing. And they were like, yeah,
no way. I think that's have you ever, Chunks? Chunks?
Yeah.
So on his podcast, and he was saying about how he's Muslim, and then when he was in primary school, obviously UK primary schools, they're proper about all the kids singing Christian songs back in the day. So when Chunks was in school, he was like saying how they had him obviously singing Christian songs, and his dad had to come into school, and he found out, he just took him out. I was like, that's crazy, making a Muslim kid sing Christian songs, and he was really good at it. Just crazy. But what does your grandma think of your music now?
I mean, the good thing is she doesn't speak English, so she doesn't understand most of the lyrics. So I think that's a plus for me.
It's going off mood alone.
Yeah, I'm trying to explain to my grandma. Like she looks at my TikTok sometimes, and I was making this joke about like the song is called Bang, but the song is not about banging. So like my grandma called me, she's like, saw this TikTok. What does it mean, bang and banging? And I was like, Grandma, this is something I do not want to explain to my grandmother. Why she's like, Is that funny? Is that a joke? I was like, yes, it's a joke that I will not explain to you.
No way. She probably knew straight away after that. She was like, I'm not even going to listen to this one. Just wait for the next one, Grandma. Just wait for the next one. Well, obviously, you featured in so many higher praise, obviously, TV shows and films, when you mentioned earlier. We really want to know, how was your acting career influenced, and how has it influenced your approach to you performing live music? Do you kind of... I don't know. With me, I have second nature take over. As soon as I hit the stage, my alter ego takes over. But what's it like, obviously, being an actor? I don't know. What's it like?
But to be honest, I after like shooting a series for a long time, I really crave performing live, because I love my job as an actor, but you film in a bubble. So I've just been this year. I've shot a series for Disney Plus. It's going to come out next year, called Vienna Game.
Ooh.
It's about the first Viennese Congress in 1814. So it's big historical, loads of sex and politics.
Oh, we'll look out for that. Daniel.
So for instance, you're 7 months in a city that isn't your home. I was in Budapest for 7 months. And yes, you perform every day, but you perform to the camera and for the camera. So there's no audience, there's nothing. You don't know what happened, there's no outcome. And then you have to wait for a whole year to see what you've done. So the creative process is so different. So throughout these periods, all I want to do is obviously go and play live to feel the immediate reaction, to feel the connection with the audience. Because what you don't feel as an actor on screen is the connection to your audience, to the people you're doing it for, because they will screen it, they will stream it on their homes, in their homes, on their computers, on their laptops or whatever. And I will never know how it makes them feel, whereas the music is, you know, that's, you know it yourself. When you go on stage, yeah. So I'm creating. Sometimes the more I act, the more I want to film. And on the other hand, of course, by having learned what it means, how to move, and, you know, having studied acting, it really helps me sometimes think, okay, if I want to perform this song in a certain way and I want to make the audience feel something beyond the music, it's about movement. It's about how you approach. It's also about not being shy anymore as well, you know? Like sometimes, you know, like I lost all inhibition, I think, in drama school because they make you do such weird shit.
What drama school did you go to? Was that in England? Or was that
in London, yeah.
Oh, sick. What was that? British Academy or something? Or?
It's called Arts Ed in down in Chiswick, yeah.
Shouts to them out, to be fair. So you think that kind of helped you, obviously, with your confidence, obviously being able to perform live on stage and that?
Oh my God, yeah, for sure. And also like auditions, like sometimes you walk, I remember I had an audition for the prequel of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And I walked in and I had no script and they said, okay, we're going to improvise now. I was like, okay, what do you want me to do? They were like, okay, imagine you're lying on the floor in a farm and you're trying to escape the murderer and suddenly a bunch of pigs eat you alive.
What?
Yeah, I'm like this. I'm like, what?
The pigs are eating me alive.
Munching at you, you're dying, you're trying to escape. So suddenly it's me, like on a Thursday at like 11 a.m. at Central London in a studio, lying on the floor, like, stop it! Do you know what? If you have to do things like that for
directors to play the pigs
on stage, you lose. Like I've lost any shame or any. Yeah, I'm up for it.
You gotta do that as an actor. You gotta be that sort of, you got nothing to lose. You got no dignity. You'll do anything. So that's the thing about being an actor. But then as an artist, you kind of you think about your actions and how it's going to portray you, and you want to do a certain image. So I guess that's two-edged sword.
But you know, every musician now has to be a content creator as well. Like that's the reality we live in. So like even there, like of course, sometimes I wish I could just talk about the raw feeling of why I wrote a song and that be enough to promote it or make somebody listen. In reality, I know that this can happen, but can also not happen. So yeah, I do random weird funny TikToks, and you know what? It's part of life. And it's part of being an artist now.
No, you definitely have to, man. You definitely have to. But you got some good content. I already checked your content, so you're pretty good at it, to be fair, man. I'm trying to get like you. I do like TikTok lives and stuff, but nothing like great content like that. But obviously, what was probably your favorite TV show you've been in then, that you've acted in?
I think Barbarians. There was like it's a Netflix series about the Roman Empire fighting the Germanic tribes, like 4 AD. What was great about it, like I had to like really buff up and train a lot, so that gave me great motivation. And then like loads of fighting scenes. I really enjoyed like sword fighting. Still have like the swords open everywhere, but sword fighting, riding, like super dynamic and physical acting. I really enjoy.
Well, I could have seen you in Game of Thrones, you know, Under the Gold. Well, but I think I've watched. I think maybe my girlfriend watched Barbarians. To be fair, because she loves Vikings and that. You know the show Vikings.
Yeah.
Yeah, she loves all that. So she probably see it. But if anything, maybe check it. I'm gonna look out for you. That's sick. Hopefully, I can see a new show. What show would you kind of want to be in next? Like a Stranger Things season 8 or?
No, I think something along the lines, if there was something new along the lines of Succession, like I'd love to do some like family drama, something. Ooh. I've been doing quite a lot of period things, and I would really love now for the next kind of project to find something that is very kind of modern observation of the modern world. I love things with like power struggle, along those lines. Yeah.
Oh, maybe I was gonna say Ted Lasso. Pretend to be a footballer.
Love Ted Lasso.
Do you? Oh, sick. I have to get you on my other show with For the Badge then. You talk football. Are you a football fan or? Yeah.
I
Just
lived in
14.
Fulham for a while, so I was next to the Chelsea Stadium. So I grew up in Berlin, and
We rate Daniel now. Now he says Fulham.
so the Berlin football clubs have always sucked. So when I was a kid, like I went to the football stadium, it was always like either a loss or a draw. So at some point, I just lost all motivation to be a football fan.
Ah,
Always-
what?
Yeah, yeah.
Have to go back and do some videos, do some content creation around like finding your German football team again.
True, true.
That'd be a good start. But obviously, you built obviously quite a strong fan base in Germany. But how many? But now that you obviously live in the UK, do you feel like your music will take on a new inspiration, a new sound?
Yeah, 100%. I think, thinking of, I've been in London for a long, long time, but then somehow kind of acting really exploded in the German speaking areas and regions. And obviously markets are different and the way people consume music is different. If you create music for an English speaking market, people listen to your lyrics. Whereas sometimes in the German speaking regions, people like, especially if it's radio plays, people listen to a song, they don't immediately have an emotion towards the lyric because it's not their native language.
Yeah.
So being in London and being in the music scene here as well, it just changes. The music scene is different. Like there are inherently different sounds and inherently different vibes and cultural differences. So I think it will have an effect for sure, whether I want it or not. But it's an effect that I want to have on my music. So I'm happy to be here and create and, work with more UK-based producers. But on the other hand, the world is globalizing. The world is getting more international. So even sometimes I end up in a music session or in a writing session in Berlin and it's an English songwriter. So it's like, yeah.
I was gonna say, have you got like a main like inspiration from like the music scene? Like I don't know if you got any like UK artists or UK genres that you really like that you kind of want to maybe even delve into. Like I don't know if you like a UK grime or punk rock from like Busted days or something.
Not gonna happen. Like I'm gonna stay in the pop lane for sure.
Yeah.
But like the influence of electronic music has always been a big part of my life. Like I'm very much a techno kid. I used to work in all the techno clubs in Berlin. So like if there's scope, like with the new song Bang, I was able to like add an element of electronic music into it.
I was literally gonna say that. I felt like a sort of from that one. I felt like a sort of house vibe in the background.
Yeah,
It was proper. Yeah, you had the pop element like on top, and then there was that like housey EDM sort of vibe in the background. But that's why I was like, you definitely blended your genres.
A little rappy, and then it's like, and that's kind of like more London. So I don't know. I think I really want to just find the right sound in the right sound scope for every song. Because when I'm writing a song, often I just write it like right here in my living room, piano, and then I go away and I'm like, okay, what dress can I give this song? Is this going to be up tempo or can I make it into a full ballad? And then I try like. With Bang, we tried so many different ways. We were like, maybe we'll go like a bit like Amapiano, or maybe we'll like look at like Brazilian funk a little bit with it. And then we're like, no, let's give it. It's called Bang. Let's give it four to the floor. Let's give it the electronic Berlin sound.
Love that. I can't wait to hear that your next sort of inspirations. Then you hang around with like more UK producers.
How am I going to explain this to my grandma? My next song is called "Don't Fuck with My Heart."
That sounds like it's gonna be like the is it Grease? Don't play on my heart, and then it sounds like you're gonna like remix that some way. So don't go play on my heart, boy. Love that. You need to get like if any UK artists you'd want to kind of bring on, who would you want to kind of feature with? Central C or Georgia Smith or something.
Sam's.
Imagine you in Central C.
No, so two artists who I love and who, especially just for their voice and for the raw emotion, is Sam Tompkins, who I I just adore his voice.
Yeah,
but I think my favorite songwriter, because I think there's no one in the UK who delivers raw emotion in his entire world in such a high class, elegant way as Tom Odell. I've been listening to his music for so many years. I opened for him a couple of years ago at Games.
What? Congrats.
In thank you. It was like one of my, I remember I played and then he came out and I was like, oh, Tom, it was like 5 years ago. And I was like, oh my God, I've been listening to him music since I'm a kid.
That's amazing.
So I think really I draw my inspiration from tracks where I really feel I can see into the artist's soul.
Mm-hmm. That vulnerability sort of thing.
Yeah. And in terms of rap, there's one artist I love, Kofi Stone.
Kofi Stone? That is not someone I'd assume you were going to say.
Love. I don't know. I remember, I think, what's the song called? One of the first songs, something Boys Boys Cry something. I don't remember. It was, I think, his first album. I came across his music, and again, since listening to him, I feel no matter what he does, no matter what lines he puts down, it's just so honest and so raw and so warm and so vulnerable, and that's the beauty of music for me.
Nah, that's how I feel you. That's exactly what I like about my sort of artist. That when I listen to them, I like someone who's vulnerable, not someone who's not stunning, someone who's relatable as well to me personally. And that's what I do for the same as my music, where I put my vulnerabilities out there and I put how I'm feeling, and I want people who listen to my music to feel the exact same way.
Exactly.
So I love that. I love that you say that. But obviously, you've had some good time in Germany. You had the experience in Germany and the UK. Then, how do you feel the UK music scene differs to the German music scene?
I think it is more varied. The UK has had, through because of history, so many more cultures. It's just a variety of people who bring their international backgrounds, but also like the UK music scene has shaped the music world. If we look at history, like, yes, there are some German bands who made it out of Germany, but let's just say that the main influence into the English-speaking market, starting from the Beatles.
100%.
Especially looking at pop. And the last couple of years, also the rise of like UK rap, which I very much love. So I think the UK has more of an understanding and more of an acceptance and more of a tolerance to genre shifting, to not being genre specific in one production, but also as an artist to be able to shape and shift. And I think what's been easier for me is the perception that in the UK, it's been easier to be an actor and a musician, whereas in Germany, people always ask me, are you this or are you that? And why are you doing both? Whereas here, it's like, it's really normal to just express yourself. And the music scene itself, so many more venues. Its culture is appreciated here, and London thrives through its culture scene. I wish sometimes that Berlin had this understanding that London has, that you have to nurture your culture scene for it to thrive. Because right now, Berlin really struggles, especially in the cultural sector.
It's really cool you say that, though. It's because we're at a time in like the UK where all the clubs are shutting down, all the venues are shutting down. No one can like serve alcohol and stuff. Some people can't open their clubs up till 11 o'clock. So it's harder for artists to get out and get opportunities to perform. So it's really cool that you say that, and that we've got a good music scene going on, and there's a lot of obviously different cultures.
It is still like, I really hope it's not going to be run down, but obviously, like, I don't know, with the new government, I hope the money for the culture will still be there. But yeah, we are looking into a time of crisis, loads of wars, inflation. There are all these things, and they play a factor into music. And yes, governments tend to forget about the art scene, but the good thing in London is the art scene brings in money for the city. Look at the West End theatres, so that entices people to like put money back in. So I really hope the music scene, I just really hope like we're gonna see a little bit easier times over the next couple of years, because it's been a rough couple of years.
Literally after COVID, and that's when everything went downhill, and it hasn't really come back up again. That's the thing. So even like around here in Luton, it's probably like one club like people actually perform at.
Crazy.
There's not, apart from we got one venue which is I think it's called the Engine or something like that. But it's mostly rock artists. So when I see them performing, I'm like, why can the rest of the music scene not have a venue like this in Luton as well? It's insane. Like then they'll sell out the whole pub, and literally the rock bands will be going off in the afternoon. You can hear them throughout town. Like it's crazy. But I'm just like, why is there nothing like that for the rest of it? There's no like EDM artists or rap artists or like pop artists that got a venue they can perform at. So that's the one thing. But I feel like the people kind of stick together, because even when these things are happening, loads of people speak up and they're like, we need more venues, or there's nowhere to go out, there's all these opportunities. So I think something will kick up and change, but I think the people definitely back it a lot. But I was going to say, you're quite active obviously on social media yourself. When you mentioned earlier, you have created obviously fun, engaging content for your followers to promote obviously your new music. With you being so well known as obviously an actor, how important is it for social media? Obviously, when I mentioned the people, how is it important for social media to you in terms of connecting with your fans, that they will listen to your music?
I think mainly what I'm looking at the moment is like creating reaching new audiences. So obviously, I've been very lucky to have an engaged and incredible following that grew over the last couple of years. But as social media is changing and the way algorithms work, also I need to change my approach, because obviously, not all content that I do reaches all my audience that already follow me. I know that. So I need to create content that reaches the people who came and loved and supported me for years. So it needs to be one pillar of content for that. But then you also need to create a pillar of content for new people to reach. And that sometimes clashes. So I'm struggling at the moment, but I'm not struggling, not a good word. It's a challenge. I'm really trying to like really try to stand, because it's like a black box. Sometimes you put out content, you think, fuck, that's sick. This is the best TikTok I've done. 4 views.
Yeah, mate.
How has this 4 views? And then the next day you do something you haven't thought of, just a random little thought, boom, 40,000 new audiences. So it's such a black box. I think the most important thing about social media is to not think too much about how you want to portray yourself. It's like, what am I selling? Like, what am I doing? Like, as an artist, I'm selling my song, right? Like, we have to be honest. If I do promotion, I'm selling a good. The good is my music. So how can I make somebody listen to it? Like, option 1, they like me as a person and they might listen to my song. Or I make them like the song and then perhaps they'll also like me. But I need to stay true to myself. So no matter how crazy I go, no matter how, I don't know, different ways I try, I need to believe that what I'm saying is true, and then the content can flourish.
Yeah, literally. It's all about being real, and obviously, just being you, innit, at the end of the day.
Yeah.
That's what I think the most, like, hitting content and stuff that bangs on TikTok is the ones that's real. Like, I think it's it. You have YJ at the moment.
It's like, I was on a show last week in Germany, like a big kind of like game show on primetime telly, and I was just myself, and I'm a pretty upbeat person. I've got ADHD, so like if I get excited, I'm very hyperactive. I've got the hyperactive side of ADHD. Do you know how much hate you get for being you? Like, honestly, half of the internet was down with like, put him in a mental institution, put him on meds, like annoying. Yeah. I had like a whole bunch of shit thrown at me online. Crazy. So like, you need to always also know that being out there and being yourself can also cause people to be shitty, because loads of people are. But if you are true to yourself, then those comments just like fuck off. Like, I'm me. You don't like it, take it or leave it. Like, and fuck off.
You'll find the real ones eventually, to be fair.
Yeah.
Or you get like, that's what I was gonna say earlier. Like, if you've seen that Jesper kid, YJ.
Yeah.
Why do you speak for? Yeah. he's obviously probably his probably one of the like realest people. Obviously, he's a disabled kid. He's doing his music and stuff, and now he's popping off because he's just being him, and people are like expecting it. They're like, oh, he's a disabled artist, and he's actually doing his own thing. So that's obviously going to inspire more disabled artists to do music and actually release their stuff and do content, and it's making obviously slightly a bit more acceptable of YJ being around and releasing music, and he's 100%. Everyone in the whole scene's all loving him off and all trying to get a video of him. So
yeah.
Complaining about. But funny enough, my next question was obviously, how does your neurodiversity and ADHD impact your creativity and musical process? Imagine at one stage it'd probably be really easy because you're probably just like hyper focused maybe, or you might get easily distracted. Well,
it's I think without my ADHD, I wouldn't have achieved the things that I have. Because yes, the hyper focus, but also the constant need for doing different things. So it's very difficult for me to actually focus now on one thing. My brain always works in a way that it works simultaneously on what I'm thinking and in the background. So having spread my artistry over different things really helps me. I remember when I was in school, in order to listen to the teacher, I had to draw. Or I had to write. And they wouldn't understand. They were like, why are you distracted? I was like, I'm not distracted. I'm trying to focus. So right now, for instance, if I'm acting and I'm on a show, in my mind is creating songs. So when I go home, I've done something else. So this is, on the one hand, a superpower. On the other hand, it's a hindrance because people can perceive you as being unfocused or perceive you as being all over the place. But it's not about people's perception at the end of the day. You need to feel good with yourself. So I decided, for me, it's my superpower, and because I decided, so it is. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%, man. But obviously, you said it was like a gift, obviously, with your ADHD and things, for being in the wrong place. Is it? You said it was a gift being at the wrong place at the wrong time?
Yeah, it's been in my life so many, like, the last couple of years have been actually really, really crazy. Maybe it's the right place in the right time, but like I've drawn for inspiration. So for instance, like especially the last 2 years. So I was, for the first time I got a call and I was like, do you want to film a project in Russian, your native tongue? And I was like, well, don't know how native it is anymore, but yes, I'd love to go film that. So that was just before the war started. So I'm flying for the first time since I was born there. I've never went back, flying out to Russia, already like being a bit like, oh God, what's happening here? And we start filming on the Russian-Ukrainian border the week the war started. So I was like, how is this possible? For the first time in my life, I'm going to a country where part of my family is from, and suddenly I end up in a war zone of where, because my dad's family is from Russia, my mum's family is from Ukraine.
No, mate.
It's like a bad joke. I was like,
Was it
honestly,
kind of tense, or was it?
oh yeah, it was scary. It was really, really scary. I started writing about it about straight away, and I was like, what's happening? I had to get out of there. Barely got out, like just before it all kicked off. And you go, okay, what is life trying to teach you? Is this, because I'm a person, like if an opportunity opens, a door opens, I go, yes, I'm in. I want to go through.
100%.
So I was like, okay, is this life telling me to like slow down or maybe reevaluate? And then what happened next with my art was last year I was in New York doing a play called The Pianist, based on the film by Polanski. And I was on stage, and we had the world premiere 3 days before the war in Israel and Gaza kicked off. And I was on stage on the 7th of October whilst the whole attack started. And I was playing a Holocaust survivor, thinking like, again,
What?
the reality and art became indistinguishable from one another. And I was like, oh my God. And this keeps happening all the time. And it's an interesting thing because it feeds into my artistry, but it's also fucking scary at times and difficult to like process. But yeah.
I have to ask you, where was you at COVID-19? Like
I was munching on bats in Vietnam.
you were somewhere for sure. That's what I'm thinking.
You know what I did? Did you ever eat? I ate bat before.
What?
I went on a world. My brother went on a world trip, and I joined him in Laos and Vietnam.
Wait, what year was this?
This was 2009. Nothing.
Okay.
No. That's not
19.
I wasn't taking zero. No. I'm leaving.
He's gone. We got him.
No. It's suddenly like, open the door.
No, I love that. To be fair, you definitely got the gift for being at the wrong place at the wrong time. Then, to be fair, when COVID come in, me and my I said girlfriend, she's my fiance. Literally, we was in Miami at the time of them like COVID being announced and then locking the borders. So we were like on like one of the last planes back from like US to UK, and
Crazy.
It was actually crazy. We thought we were stuck there. We're gonna be stuck there forever. Well, obviously, I've got my last few questions anyway, Daniel. I could be chatting to you all day. We're going to have to probably do a part 2 on this for sure. But, oh, wait, this one's ruined it for me, actually. You won The Masked Singer in Germany, 2022, yeah? Disguised as the mole. What was your favourite song to sing, and do you think anyone suspected it was you?
My favourite song to sing was Breathe Easy by Blue, because that was just a fun fucking track.
Yeah.
And
Big fan of Blue, then.
And kind of like Backstreet Boys. I was like, as a mole, doing all the larger than life moves, the Backstreet Boys. I think people did. I mean, I think fans know. Fans know because they just know your voice. Other people don't. And it was suspected, but I did a pretty good job at hiding it. I like pre-recorded things on Instagram and posted them while the show was on.
Oh, see.
But the crazy thing was actually I was filming a show. So on Saturday night in Germany, Masked Singer is live. So like you do it live on Saturday, 8 p.m. And I was filming in Prague. So like after the show at like 12 at night, they put me in a car and drive me to Prague, where I had to play a Nazi officer. It was
This is a crazy life for you.
It could be crazy. It was a show called A Small Light for Disney about Miep Gies. It was the woman who was hiding the family of Anne Frank.
Oh, okay.
Beautiful TV show with Belle Powley and Liev Schreiber. But it was crazy, like from being a mole, doing Backstreet Boys, driving through the night, 8 hours in a car, and then you put on like as a Jewish actor anyways, it was very difficult for me to put on the fucking SS costume with the swastika.
Yeah.
Like,
You
yeah.
must thought, what is my life? What am I?
Yeah. I was in the evenings, I was like, okay, who am I? Am I a mole? Am I a Nazi? No, I'm not. I'm Daniel. I'm Daniel Donskoy. Yeah.
Am I an actor? Am I a singer? What? Who am I? Where am I from? Like, you're lucky how you know everything down. Right, it sounds like you've been on a sick journey here, to be fair. Especially like doing all different things. I'm guessing does it pay well?
I mean, obviously, if I didn't do the acting, I wouldn't be able to afford to do the music really right now, because the music business, as you know, is very hard. It's hard to generate streams. It's hard to promote them. It's hard to earn money from music right now, and it's becoming increasingly harder, especially with things like, Spotify announcing that they will put your music into discovery, but you get even less money. And the opportunities in music are limited, but If it works, it works. And I think that's what we're all trying to achieve. You need that one song, that one thing that goes off, and I firmly believe it's gonna happen. But yes, doing my acting really helped me to allow myself to work in other things. Yeah.
I'm glad you said that though, to be fair, because I think a lot of artists nowadays, they don't want to go and do a normal job, or they don't want to do anything else if they're doing music, and they find like they have to do music to be an artist, and that's it. But I feel like a lot of artists are going. I think we feel like we're going into an era where artists are just their own people, and they do music as well as that they do other things. Like, especially myself, when I started working at Liberty Music, some of the artists I spoke to, and I finding out, oh, what, you've been doing this since you were 12. I was like, why have I seen you as an actor on Instagram for the past 12 years? And now all of a sudden, they'll be like, oh, no, I've always wanted to do music. I just didn't have enough money in that, so now I'm doing music, and I got successful doing skits and being a comedian. Now I do music. So it's quite interesting. I love that you said that though, and you're experiencing the same thing as every other artist in the world, probably.
True.
Apart from Central C. He's just living the dream.
Well, I just came down on the tube. I saw his posters with a G-Shock. Now I was like, he's done now. Like, everything. And watch now. Oh,
he's got his own night tracksuit. He's got preparing his own brand with Drake and that. So yeah, he's like the guy now. He's up there. He's gone. Probably the next Drake. But obviously, we've got another question for you actually. One nice fun one. What was your most unexpected or random place that you've heard your music being played? Because you're quite big. So.
The most unexpected when my music was played. Yes, I was in that was actually quite funny. I was in Sri Lanka 2 years ago. Yes, just for a holiday, and I went to a CrossFit gym.
CrossFit gym in Sri Lanka.
Yeah, a CrossFit gym in Sri Lanka. And my song Robbed Me was playing on a playlist because the guy who ran it had a playlist and my song was on his playlist. So I was in the middle of the 1, 2, yeah, bro. I was like, what? It's my song. And they're like, shut the fuck up. Go back and do burpees. I was like, no, but it's my song.
No way. You're trying to get your phone out now. I'm recording it. Let me record it.
Burpee now.
No way. But then if you were like signed to a label, you'd have your label like, nah, make sure you do your content. You gotta do your content, mate. Your personal trainer's like, no, get back down.
You know what? Sometimes I prefer doing burpees than content. Some days.
Hey, yeah, literally. That's what keeps me out of football, to be fair. Especially when in the UK winters and that, as soon as you go outside to do sports, mate, it demotivates you straight. But obviously, if you were to create a song outside of a usual genre, thinking back to when I was saying you're playing with different UK genres, what genre would it be? Would you kind of create outside your normal niche?
It probably I delved into rap a couple of times now, but very tentatively. I think probably, I did release a song about the war in Russia and Ukraine. That was Russian rap. That I had loads of fun with it. It was odd for me, but I think then if again probably rock, but on the harder side, with screaming and
screamer. You know what? I think every artist says that. When I do these interviews, we ask that.
How do you do that?
I'd have no voice. If I did that, that's so talented because. You scream, I scream at a freaking show or something or at a party and that. Next day, your voice is gone. Imagine doing that all the time and recording that for your music.
I don't know how they do that.
It's a certain technique. I think they can save their vocals and that. But you do a bit of rock, yeah. Not so you're saying you wouldn't go for the busted McFly sort of rock. You're going for the
no.
You're going heavier than that.
It's metal. If
metal. I love that. I'll be waiting for that. When you do an album.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't tell your grandma about that one though. Don't tell your grandma about that one. That's gonna be a crazy one. But I think if you want to do some mixed genres, shout me if you ever want to dive into the UK drill scene. They probably help you out. But obviously, my last couple of questions for you, anyways, because we will be chatting for probably the week, Daniel, bro. But what message or feeling do you hope your listeners take away from your music, and how do you want them to remember you as an artist?
Very song dependent, the feeling. I suppose I want them to feel better than before they heard the song. They hear the song, and no matter what the song does to them, like uplift them or brings them into I don't know, sexy mood or whatever, it makes them feel better than where they came from before the 3 minutes that they listened to it. Number one, and two, as how do you want to be remembered as an artist? I don't know. I suppose as somebody who they really want to see live, and when they hear the song, they go, "Well, I really want to see that person on stage." I think that's the main goal for me.
No, I love that. To be fair, and you want to be someone who actually performs live. Then you want to be seen on stage. Yeah. I know a lot of artists don't. They don't really. They just want that million views on Spotify, and that's what they see as them being artists.
I want to play tour. I want to play European tour as soon as possible, and yeah, that's really what it's
Love
for.
that. What venue would you want to perform at? What's your like dream venue or festival to perform at?
Oh, festival, obviously Glasgow for everyone, but
no wireless now.
it's not. Oh my god, I don't know, man. Like I used to think of like I want to go there, I want to go there. I stopped doing like I just want to play live, and however this is going to play out will be the right way for me. So I don't want to like, because sometimes when you have like this is my dream venue, and then that doesn't work, but something else comes, you've put yourself in a position to not appreciate what you're getting. So
yeah. Well, to be fair, I find since I started doing music more seriously myself, I found like looking at different different venues, especially in like London, the UK, as like basically like check marks. Just like I'll start here, obviously like Moustache by myself being like the lowest, being in Dalston, and it's only like 150 people fitting in there, and then you move up to the next one, which might be like for me, it's like Stars and Kings,
Brixton Academies and all that. But like you know, time will tell. Time will tell.
Yeah. I'll see you at O2 Arena or something in like a year's time.
Hopefully not in a mole costume and not in a Nazi officer's costume, but just as me.
And hopefully you're supporting like Jack Harlow or something. That'll be cool. But with a number, obviously you just released Banging on, was it 11th of October? If I got it correct.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Yeah, I got a good memory, man. I got a good memory. So you obviously released that with a number of upcoming music releases and acting projects you got. What can fans look forward to? Look forward to seeing from you in the next year.
So I'm keeping releasing music. I've set myself a goal. I'm releasing every 6 weeks a new single, so I'm gonna keep doing that. Which sometimes is like, oh my god, I need to finish the song. So that's gonna keep happening, and then hope at some point next year, Vienna game is gonna come out. There's one more project I can't yet talk about at all. Sadly, they make you sign these stupid NDAs, so you're not allowed to like say too much. But there's another.
What's that for acting or is that music?
It's not acting and not music. It's a different thing. I can't. But it's fucking exciting.
Daniel's got something very special for us then.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to re-up this interview in like a year then, and then come back to this.
We have to. And then music and acting. Acting. The series is going to come out. Music, single. Then hopefully an album and a tour. So that's the plan.
Love that. Have you got your next single lined up already, or?
Yes, I'm deciding between two. One is called Don't Fuck With My Heart. The other one is called Stay. And I don't know which way around I'm going to release them. But I really want to release one more song before Christmas. Probably going to be like a more down-to-earth, chill ballad type thing.
Yeah, I love that. I can't wait to hear it. I'm definitely going to be keeping an eye on you. I'll check you. Tell obviously the people, what's your socials? Where can we find you? Where can we find your music?
Everywhere, at Daniel Donskoy on all the socials, from TikTok to Instagram. Snapchat I haven't started yet. Thinking of starting Snapchat.
Snapchat's coming back, to be fair. A lot of people, I know they do that, the networking events in London, or loads of like influencers going there, and then they get like lessons and stuff how to use Snapchat. But
yeah,
Snapchat was a thing like 10 years ago.
Look into it. But for now, it's mainly TikTok and Instagram, and it's just Daniel Donskoy.
Daniel Donskoy, love that, Daniel, bro. But yeah, we'll definitely be checking out with you. I'll definitely catch you on Instagram myself. I'm gonna be reaching out to you to do some cool music, hopefully together in the future one day. But yeah, Daniel Donskoy, everyone, thank you for coming and chatting to us at Liberty, bro.
Thanks so much, man.